Hey church family, I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk you through how our reopening plan is going to really work. Now, some of you are in the loop, some of you are out of the loop, some of you are listening to national leaders, state leaders, county leaders. There's a lot of talk going on. So I want to really distill this down into very simple things so that we understand exactly what's going on. I want you to be fully aware of how we're reopening so that you can and your family can participate in what we're doing. Now, if you remember, we talked about four phases. Now, the first phase was started on May the 18th, actually. So we've been reopening slowly since then, where we've had groups of under 10 gathering, where we've had either small groups or we've had leaders meetings or things like that happening in the background. Phase 2, which is on May 31st. Okay, so we're starting into a new phase, which is not a very long phase, it's a very short phase, which is literally our trial phase. So in this phase, we really want to work at making sure that we've got the facility geared just right. Our worship team, our serving teams, our preacher, those who are working with the actual service elements are going to be doing the service live from the church building with a small team of people. Okay, the goal for this service, even though we feel like, oh man, we really wish we could just open it up and just do it with everybody, we want to have one Sunday where we really try out what it looks like for adults to be in the room, how we're going to handle certain things. If certain things are a little bit overkill, so we can dial some of those things back. But also if there are certain things that we've totally missed, it should become apparent on that first Sunday. Okay, so we're this Sunday, which is May the 31st, is phase 2, where we try out what it means to gather again in this new environment. Okay, June the 7th is going to be phase 3. That's where we invite you all back and we say, please sign up. We're going to have a certain number that we can have in the building. Okay, all of that will be very clear on May the 31st. After that, on the 1st of June, actually, we're going to send out a link which has an invite code. So if you and your family would like to come, we would encourage you to sign up. And it's based on seats. It's on first come, first serve basis. So if you're able to sign up, we would encourage you to join us for that Sunday. Okay, so June the 7th, we're looking forward to having at least 40 people in the room. Okay, that's based on our facility size and how we're able to create distancing and sanitation and other things. But all of these things we're trying to work out as we go along, okay? So just work with us as we go through this process, and we would encourage you to sign up, okay? Because we really need to know who's coming so that if there is something that goes wrong, we know who is in the room and we can contact you. We won't be contacting anyone else. We won't be sending this to the government. We're not sending this to some hospital. We're gonna contact you and say, please, this is what has happened. Can you please make sure that you get checked or contact the relevant authorities so that you can actually go through the process for getting tested. All right, so we just want to make sure that we have good information, not faulty information, not just guesswork, but really good information, which is going to remain confidential and private, okay? So that we know who was in the room and we're able to help people in a quick manner if something does go wrong. That said, that is going to happen on June the 7th. Now, the long game, just so you have an idea, we are hoping that by 4th of July, we would have had a real good time to really see for that 3-week period that follows June 7th, so about 4 weeks altogether, of what it really looked like to have the people in the room, but also where our state, our county is going in some of these issues. And if we can continue with having regular services, we're just going to encourage people to have good habits with hygiene and with certain distancing, but we would ask you to start looking forward to times where we can gather together, not in the way that we used to necessarily. Some people are not going to want to hug. Some people are not going to want to shake hands, and we would encourage you to keep that distance and honor that. Okay, while we cannot make a rule and say don't hug people, don't shake hands with people, we want you to be really thoughtful about the other person, okay? So as a general practice, we would encourage you not to hug or to shake hands and things like that. That's just a generally good practice. But if someone that you are very personally close to and they have encouraged you and they have said, we like to be hugged or we like to shake hands, go right ahead. but don't force that on someone else in the church, all right? I would just encourage you to keep that in mind as we start gathering again. So those are the 4 phases. So 4th of July is what we're looking at for that first Sunday back, which is July the 5th, hopefully to have a full kids service, a full time where we have the adult group upstairs and the kids downstairs. Because in phase 3, which is on June 7th, starting on June 7th, we're not gonna have a full kids ministry. So we're gonna have just a few people who will be available. We don't have a full team yet. Not everyone is available to come back. So those are some of the things that we need to keep in mind.